I'm back with part 2 of my 7th Q&A session, and today I'm answering the question, what philosophical school of thought do I follow? In my previous video, I explained each of the 4 philosophical schools of thought, so today I'm jumping straight to the answer. Here it comes. There are 4 broad philosophical schools of thought which apply to education today. They are Idealism, Realism, Pragmatism, and Existentialism, and they all have advantages and disadvantages. First of all, a positive aspect of idealism is that it incorporates intellectual discussion and open examination of moral or societal problems. It also encourages students to seek education over material goods and to value personal goodness in themselves and other people. But although that's great and it's fantastic, students become independent thinkers who keep a critical and open mind. For me, as a teacher, it's too elitist. Sure, I believe idealism fits gifted and highly intelligent students because it puts more emphasis on thinking and mental activities. At the same time though, that's where its weakness lies because not all students love or are capable of only focusing on thinking and mental activities at school. Emphasizing thinking and mental activities increases the importance of intellectualism, and that makes it elitist because it's simply too abstract and vague for the majority of students. There are so many students with a practical mindset who want to focus on the real problems of every day, but idealism doesn't focus on that. Sure, idealism examines big suicidal problems like climate change, but doesn't give a solution to those smaller problems students face in their daily lives. And idealism focuses on the ultimate end of life, which is intriguing to someone like myself, but it won't work in a classroom with weaker students or with students who have different interests. Secondly, when it comes to realism is great because it discourages rote learning and bookish knowledge and prefers hands-on experience for the purpose of learning. But realism still mightn't be great for weaker students as it gives a lot of emphasis to science and technology, and those subjects might be too hard for them. And other students like myself mightn't find the exact sciences all that intriguing. Personally, I feel realism focuses too much on exact sciences like physics, chemistry, and math, and ignores the importance of the non-material, such as feelings, emotions, and imagination, which I find equally important. Thirdly, when it comes to pragmatism, because it has such an emphasis on practical learning and solving problems in everyday life, I feel it speaks to the majority of students. There are so many students who prefer practical learning and who want their education to apply to the real world because when their education applies to the real world, that also creates motivation for learning, and that's great for students. However, students who are like I was, someone who hated using my hands except for writing and who loved learning from books, won't like it as much. Besides, there are limitations of learning through doing. There's no doubt students will actually learn by doing things, but many facts known to students are given to them by another person. So it's almost impossible for one person to experience every fact known to her or him, and that's when books and movies too come in handy. In short, there are things we simply have to learn by studying them theoretically. You can't learn everything through doing. Finally, although existentialism focuses so much on the individual that students mightn't learn any sense of obligation to their classmates or society, and although it may lack a structure and direction because there is no clear life course which students have laid out before them, it's still the philosophical school of thought I follow because of the following four reasons. Firstly, as existentialism stresses that we need to make decisions for ourselves, I feel existentialism focuses on developing a sense of responsibility to ourselves in each student. Secondly, I think it's great existentialism focuses on our own freedom and creating our own future and meaning of life because that gives students the strength and power to choose to be the person they were meant to be. It makes each student realize that their options in life aren't limited and that the possibilities are endless for most of them. I know weaker students mightn't have as many options as stronger students do, but still, all students surely have more options than they might think. And pondering on their meaning of life at an early age will help create motivation in students to make their dreams come true. So I truly believe the emphasis on choice and freedom is empowering for students. Thirdly, I feel it'd be great if teachers drew in each student as a participant in her or his own education, so teachers can fill the student with knowledge based on the student's own ideas, because then students can focus on exploring her or his talents and pursue her or his interests. This again creates motivation to learn, and this is especially true when the student sees the relationship between education and everyday life, because then the student realizes how useful and valuable her or his education is. Another benefit of this is that students realize they have to work hard and make smart choices to achieve what they want. Fourthly, focusing on each student as an individual is awesome because each student has her or his separate strengths and weaknesses. When educators acknowledge each student's strengths and weaknesses, they are able to cater to each student's needs, and when they do that, they allow each student to prosper and fulfill her or his full potential. And I'm sorry, I also have a fifth reason, and it's this. Existentialist teachers encourage authenticity in each student, and this kind of authenticity will help LGBTQ people like myself to dare to be ourselves. And it might even help with the inclusion of LGBTQ students when educators teach students to respect each other's individuality. This sounds good, but how do we realize a more existentialist kind of education? Here are some ideas. Giving each student enough time is the first thing we need. I, for instance, lack the time to give each of my 420 students individual attention every lesson. Although I really want to focus on each of my pupils' needs, it's simply impossible because I don't have enough time for it. Aside from not having enough time, the classes are too big. And a lot of money is needed for this kind of investment in each and every student. Not even the governments of rich Western countries want to invest that much money in each student. If they did, I'm sure it would benefit society though, because imagine what a society could achieve if each student was given the financial opportunity to reach her or his full potential. In an ideal world, a class would only consist of 5 students to give teachers the opportunity to give each student all the attention she or he needs. So a lot more teachers would be needed as well, and in order for that to happen, governments need to make teaching a more desirable job. Who knows? Maybe this kind of educational system will become a reality one day. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. Next Friday, I'll be back with a new video in my series on intellectual giftedness. Till then, I only want to say 3 things. Thank you for watching. Take care, and bye for now.